What's up again guys? Yo, it's me, Dovahkiin, and welcome back to my Anno 2205 miniseries. And before we begin, be sure to hit on the subscribe button for more great videos. Alright, in the last episode, I showcased Walbrook Basin and its majestic trinity of hydroelectric dams. It's the first sector in my second set of acquisitions. In today's vid, I'm gonna present the next sector under Set 2, Ikkuma Glacier, arguably the worst sector in the game. Although it has 15 mountain and 25 coastal building sites, slightly more than the usual, it has a very limited buildable area of just 35,700 acres, a factor as to why I dub it as the worst sector in the game, but I'll elaborate more on that later. On credit balance, Ikkuma Glacier bleeds my corporation with 21,000 plus credits. And again, that's normal, losing money in the Arctic and lunar regions, that is. Albeit, if you look closely and compare it to the others, Ikkuma Glacier's losses is the smallest of them all. As per population, on the other hand, it is the least populated sector in my corporation with just a total of 2,200 plus. Now on its role on my corporate goods network. Ikkuma Glacier supplies the needs of Walbrook Basin, namely, neuro implants, and supercomputers. It also gets its temperate needs from there, specifically, vitamin drinks, luxury food, diamonds and replicators. For the moon, on the contrary, it supplies deuterium to Iwamoto crater, and in turn, gets its energy from there. As per surplus goods, it forwards them all to Akkuma Flows, the goods hub of my Arctic region. Okay, let's enter Ikkuma Glacier. Archipelagic sectors, or those that are composed of multiple islands, are quite difficult to build on. Obviously because of expansion limitations, but that's still relatively fine in the temperates. However, it's a different story here in the Arctic, cause of the heat mechanic. Back in episode 3 at Akkuma Flows, I've already detailed my universal housing layout for the Arctic. And please do check that out for context. That layout is easy to apply on big Arctic islands, but as you can see, here in Ikkuma Glacier, besides having limited space for the said layout, the spaces themselves are shaped awkwardly. That is why I consider this sector the worst one in the game. One of the more feasible islands for that housing layout is this one at the center. And the substantial portion of my housing and production is here. Here on the northern island lies a few factories, just spillovers, cause they don't fit in the main island anymore. Again, like in Akkuma Flows, I won't focus on each production zone, cause there ain't none. My general Arctic layout is modular, so production facilities are integrated with my housing, and they are located randomly based on available space. Alright, now on the details of this sector. I got the Nature Reserve Random Sector trait on this one, and it provides a bonus of 30% production to sub-zero cleanrooms, but diminishes the output of methane extractors by 15%. And that's fine with me, cause I only have one methane extractor in this sector. Actually, for the entire Arctic region, just one for each sector. I don't use gas power stations for energy. My fusion reactors on the moon powers up my entire corporation. The only utility of methane ice for me is for supercoolants production. Okay, now let's move on to Ikkuma Glacier's sector project.
To freely quote a long-dead fellow countryman, you need oil? There is oil. It's that easy.
There are 3 oil rigs, and restoring them all will give you petrochemicals, of which periodically fill up with a capacity of 75 each. So you have to check up on them from time to time. And apparently, this quest line is given to you by Luca Volodin, the representative of User Yev Incorporated, a rival corporation that specializes in the biotech industry. And this is the entire quest line. Like what I said back in my previous episodes, as per the quests that involve goods, you really don't have to produce them, just buy them from the global market instead. Anyhow, there ain't no difficult quest in this one. I find them all relatively easy to finish. Alright, now let me talk about my military fleet. You can only have a maximum of 8 ships in your fleet. And the reason why you can call upon your fleet to any sector, besides the moon that is because of invasions. But as I've said in the beginning, I'm playing on the standard difficulty mode, where there are no invasions and catastrophes, cause I don't want to be bothered with those bullshits. Anyway, you can upgrade your ships in the docks menu, which is managed by John Rafferty. Speaking of which, my military level is already maxed at 30, along with my ships, which are all in the master rank. By the way, although you have 8 ships, there are only 4 classes. First is the Titan, a battle-hardened command ship with powerful missiles and good defenses. Next is the Turtle and the Glacier, which are sturdy ships with advanced armor that fire their upgraded torpedoes even faster and deal bonus damage to enemies. The third class includes the Flare and the Monsoon, which are fast-firing artillery ships whose mortars deal effective damage to enemy groups and structures. The last class consists of the Spark, the Stinger and the Blizzard, which are heavily upgraded Catamaran-class ships that fire rapid chains of sparks that damage multiple enemies at once. Now, as per recurring crisis sectors, there are 2. One takes place in the Arctic, given to you by Vil John Gerson, and the other in the temperate region by Rafferty himself. And besides gaining combat experience to upgrade your ships, you can also farm graphene, the rare material with the highest demand. And although it's not a mission reward in the Arctic, destroying things there will also drop graphene. As per difficulty, as soon as you think you can manage it, just go for Expert, cause you'll be rewarded with more combat experience. Don't fret, with sound tactics, Expert is really not that hard. Back in episode 5, I've already detailed the Orbit DLC, and the technology nexus, so please check that out as well. There are a few techs in the nexus that affect your military, and here are the ones that I've activated in mine. First is the sensor overclocking tech, which increases resource salvage in crisis sectors by 100%. This one doubles the drop rate of rare materials, so it's a no-brainer. Next is Rescue System, which replaces your support fleet ability with John Rafferty's repair ship. In the beginning, I thought this one was stupid, cause why would you want to summon a solo repair ship, when you can otherwise summon a trio of light warships, right? But it turns out that Rafferty's healing is overpowered, and the repair ship doesn't get targeted by enemies, so it lingers indefinitely. It follows you around as well, to a certain extent that is. And this becomes more OP when you summon multiple ships, as their healing salvo will make your fleet seemingly invulnerable. Next is the Meteor Grade Shields tech, which doubles the radius of the kinetic shield ability, and reduces its fuel cost by half, bringing it down to just 2 fuel points. With its very low fuel cost, this ability shines brightest in the beginning of the Crisis sector, when you don't have charges to summon Rafferty's repair ships yet. And lastly, Orbital Laser, which I've already discussed back in episode 5, but in brief, it's an overpowered version of the missile barrage, and definitely a must-have. And there you go. So, like how this video started, now let's end it with another spectacular drone shot. And that's all there is for now. Thanks for watching. Also, check out other videos from Sabbath Clan Philippines and don't forget to subscribe. See you on my next vid. Peace out, y'all.